Good evening. My name is Tony Mactudis, and this is the presentation of my final project for Android interfaces. So what I wanted to do this quarter was build on the app that I wrote last quarter. Basically, this was intended to be a remote interface for one of our ultrasound machines at work. And we got it. So what we have here is a separate plot for each one of the ultrasound channels. Now the machine actually supports more than 4 channels, so a main goal this time was to do a different type of display that lets you see a lot more data at one time, and at the same time incorporate more features from this quarter's lectures. So this is the interface we ended up with. Basically, this is called a waterfall display. So the data kind of flows upward or downward in some cases, and so you get at a glance a look at all the channels at the same time, and you can see how they've been changing over time. So you're seeing 8 channels here. These bright yellow bars that you see here, those correspond to the area on the left of this plot here. We call that the main bang, where the receiver is still saturated. Then each one of these peaks here, that's an echo, that's an ultrasound echo. As the sound waves go through the part and bounce off the far side, you get an echo. Those show up in our waterfall as a line. And so even though you can't really see the details of each channel in the waterfall, you do get at a glance, you can see that all the channels are working properly and getting good echoes. And then if you do want to zoom in on one of these, I implemented a touch interface. So all you have to do is touch on the area of the plot corresponding to the channel that you're interested in, and that will be copied over to this window on the left. And if you were watching carefully, you could see that happen, and then the channel number would update. So the internals, so what I had last time was a separate fragment for each one of those plot views. And so I got rid of all but one of those, and then I implemented a new custom view to handle the waterfall processing. Those are fed by a worker thread, which I had before, but what I added this time was a content provider. So the idea there is you're abstracting the data source from the GUI. So if I want to change the input data source, instead of a raw file, read in streaming data over the network, then I can do that, and the GUI doesn't need to change at all because it doesn't know or care where the data actually came from. Some of the elements used in the class, drawables, I replaced some of the screen drawing with external XML drawables. It doesn't really change the performance, but it just makes the code a little bit cleaner. Styles, there was a bug in that toolbar where that logo I had up there was showing up in the background of any new widgets that I created. Butter knife, content provider, expanded use of the canvas, a new custom view, and touch events. Some of the difficulties: the content provider is probably not the best tool for streaming binary data. It's intended for reading from a database. The database could be changing, but I'd probably do that a little bit differently. What I really wanted to do, I wanted to have zooming and panning, because we got a lot of data coming in and we're not seeing all of it. It's being compressed to be displayed on the screen here. But that was not anywhere near as straightforward as I thought it would be. You can't really, there are some built-in functions in Android for scaling bitmaps and so forth, but those are not really suitable for use in real time with a large data set like this. So what you really want to do is take your raw data and resample it to fit the number of pixels that you have on the screen. Future work. We want to read that data in from a network. We want to let the user send some commands to send power levels, set power levels, and so on. We want to implement zooming and panning, and we want to store telemetry to a file. So I'm still looking for a nice Android ruggedized tablet with a large hard disk. So that's my project. Are there any questions?